control statements topic. So after finishing control structures, we will move to the loops concepts. So after finishing loops concept, we will move to the data structures. Before moving to data structures, we will see the strings concept. So here we are writing everything in my first notebook only, right? So I think we are doing everything. So not doing in this. So I think we are doing everything in Python basics. So here I'm opening the script which we are working on. So from the first class onwards. So here it is a script which we are working still. So I think till now only 37 members were joined. So we will wait for one more 3 to 4 minutes. After that we will start the session. So we will start the session exactly at 11:07. Division, sorry, multiplication in binary, you need to use binary left shift operator. So here it will work logically like this. So here it is the output for that thing. So whereas if you perform this operation, so here it is binary right shift operation. It is also called as binary division operator. So whenever you perform this operation, division takes place in binary mode. So that is about binary multiplication and division operators. So after that thing, we have membership operators. So in order to check whether the string belongs to the whether the string is member of previous string or not, we need to use this membership operator. So here I define one string like Jakub, and I want to check whether this portion is belongs to this original string or not. So for that purpose, here we need to say we need to use in operator. So remember one thing. So this, yeah, I'm getting some disturbance from you guys. So please everyone keep in mute mode. So here I'm checking whether this string is this substring is belongs to this original string or not. So if it is a member of this string, it will return true. If it is not a member of this string, it will return false as an output. So if you observe this thing, this YA belongs to this YAKEB. That's why it is giving true as an output. So here membership operators always returns validation function as an output. Validation function is nothing but whether it returns true or it returns false. So these are membership operators. So if you say not in, means you are saying this portion is not belongs to this thing. So if it is true, it returns true. If it is false, it returns false. So after this membership operators, we have one more operators called as identity operators. So here in interview, you might face a question like, what is the difference between equals to symbol and is operator? So you might face this question in interview. So here it is a very easiest question and it is a very basic interview question. So for suppose here I'm defining a equals to 10. So after this thing, here I'm saying b equals to 10 and I'm defining c equals to 10.0. So after defining this thing, here I'm saying a equals to b. Whenever you apply this thing, it will return true. Here I'm saying a is b. Whenever you apply this thing on this thing, again it will also returns true. So here I'm defining a equals to 10, b equals to 10, and c equals to 10.0. So whenever you apply a equals to b, so we are checking the values. So we are checking the magnitude of values. So if both the values are same, here we are returning true. So after this thing, on the same thing, here I'm applying is function. So whenever you apply is also, it is returning true. So here I'm doing this thing, a equals to c. Here I'm saying a equals to c. After this thing, here I'm saying a is c. So here, whenever you apply this thing, it returns false. So here, remember this thing, whenever you use identity operators, we are comparing the logical addresses of the variables. Whenever you use ID functions or these identity operators, we are checking the identity or logical addresses of the variable. So for that purpose, here I'm observing ID of A. So here I want to print ID of A, comma, I want to print ID of B. So after this thing, I want to check ID of C also. ID means ID is a function which is used to know the logical address of the variable. So here I want to know the logical address of each and every variable. So after this thing, so here these are the logical addresses of different variables. So here if you observe this example itself, as I already told you, so for the integers in the range of -5 to 256, we are following memory pooling. That means for this 10 and this 10, we are having same logical address. So here, if you observe these two logical addresses, both are same only. So whenever you use this is or is not operator, we are comparing this logical addresses. If these logical addresses are same, it returns true. If these logical addresses are different, it returns false. So here if you observe, A is C. So here I'm saying this logical address and this logical address are same. So if you observe this thing, both are different. That's why it returns false. Whereas if you perform same thing on A equals to C, here we are checking the magnitude of values. So here we are comparing magnitude of values. 10 equals to 10. Both are same only. That is the difference between membership operators as well as comparison operators. So equals to. So if you use equals to, we are checking the magnitude of values. Whereas if you use is operator, we are checking the logical addresses of the variables. That is the difference between equals to symbol and is. And is not also works similarly. So here, if you want to say, so here I'm saying A is not C. So here I'm saying both are different. So here also we are checking the logical addresses. Here I'm saying logical address of A is different than logical address of C. So if we execute this thing, so both are different only. This one and this one not same. Here I'm saying same thing. That's why it is returning true as an output. That is about identity operators. So after this concept, we will start the new concept called as control statements. Next concept is control statements. So if we want to keep something in heading, so here we need to go to code section. Here we need to choose markdown option. So after this thing, I want to keep this thing as heading. For the purpose, we need to keep hash. So here I'm keeping space to keep this thing as an heading. So here I created one heading. So after this heading, beside this heading, below this heading, I want to write some text. So for that purpose, we need to proceed into this thing. So here control statements. So in order to control the flow of the execution of the program, we need to use this control statements. In order to control the flow of the execution of the program, we need to use this control statements. In this control statements, we have three categories. So in this first one is conditional statements. First one is a conditional statements. So after this conditional statements, we have second category, that is loops concept. Second one is loops concept. After this thing, we have one more category, that is loop transfer statements. So here these are the different control statements. So here last one is a loop transfer statement. So in the today's class, we will discuss the conditional statements. So today's class, we will discuss the conditional statements. So remember one thing. So if you are aware of syntax, you can do anything with the programming. So whatever the language it might be, so everything is same, but syntaxes is different language to language. So first we will see conditional statements today. So here in the conditional statements, so we have different types again. So here we have if condition. So after this, we have if else conditions. So after if else, we have one more conditions, that is if else conditions. So after if else, we have one more category, that is if ladder, or it is also said as special case if. So we can say this thing as special case if also. So after this thing, so after this special case if, we have one more category, that is called as nested if else. So here these are the different kinds of conditional statement. So out of this, we will start one by one. So first we will start with if condition. So here how to do that thing. So here first we need to aware of syntax. So first if condition. So for this, first we need to see the syntax. So syntax for this thing is first we need to use if keyword. So in this thing, you need to specify the condition. We need to specify the condition for this thing. So coming to other languages, so after the condition, we need to open flower brackets. So here, whenever you want to write some statements in the condition, you need to specify the flower bracket. Whereas coming to Python, we need not to use this flower brackets. So in place of this flower bracket, we are using indent. So after this indent, whatever the statements you want to write, you need to write that thing in the form of, so whatever the thing you want to write inside this thing, you need to write that thing inside the indent only. So whatever the statement you are writing inside this thing, those are the considered as the statements belongs to this thing. So here inside this condition, you need to specify the statement or statements. Whatever the statement you want to write this thing, you can write inside this thing. So whereas if you want to write the some statement out of this thing for the status purpose, you can write the statements out of the loops also, out of the conditions also, whereas this is not belongs to this original thing. So here it is a syntax for if condition. So here it is a syntax. So I want to keep this thing in the markdown option. That means I want to keep this thing as a text option. For that purpose, so here, so I'm doing this thing, and here I'm keeping markdown option. So after this thing, I'm keeping this thing. So here it is a syntax of if condition. After this thing, here I want to write one statement. So here simply I want to check whether the given number is even or not. So here by using the single if condition, we did not check both the conditions. So for that purpose, here I want to check. So here I want to take one user defined values. So I want to take one user defined value in the form of integer. For that purpose, here I'm applying int typecasting function. Here I'm saying input of, so for comment purpose to display something, here I'm entering a value. So here I want to display enter a option. So after this thing, here I want to keep the condition. So here I want to say the condition even number condition. What is that condition? If the number is divisible by 2, whenever you divide some number with 2, if it returns remainder as a 0. So if you divide some number with a 2, if it returns remainder as 0, that is an even number. So here if you want to write some statement inside this condition, you need to specify this tab distance. So whenever whatever the statement you write inside this tab distance, it will be considered as a statement which is present inside this thing. So here I'm writing statement like even number. So I want to write the given number is even. So for that purpose, here I'm saying a comma is even number. So after this thing, I am executing this portion. So here after executing this program, it is asking me to enter a value. So here I'm entering 3. So if you observe this program, it is not an even number. So here, whenever this condition is satisfied, then only it enters into this conditional statement, this conditional block. Whenever this condition is fails, it won't proceed into this thing. So here, we did not get the status of this program. So we don't know whether this program is executed or not. So if you want to write some statement for status purpose, you can write the statement out of this thing. So here I'm writing the statement like print. So if you want to write some statement for the status purpose, you can write that thing also. So here I'm writing status purpose like executed successfully. So after this thing, I'm running this program. Again, here initially I'm entering 4. So here whenever you enter 4, so here whenever you enter 4, this condition is satisfied. Whenever this condition is satisfied, it enters into this statement. So after this thing, it will execute this portion irrespective of this condition. This statement always executed. So here it is executed successfully. So after this thing, I'm getting a lot of disturbance from you guys. So can you please keep in your mute mode? Hello guys. Yeah, done. So here it is about this thing. So after this thing, so we will see if else condition. So in this thing, I am executing this portion again. So after executing this program, here I'm giving 3 as an input. So after giving 3, so here condition is fail. Whenever condition is failed, it is again giving this statement as an output. So here it is the statement which is not belongs to this condition. We wrote this thing out of this condition. So the statements always executed irrespective of this condition. This is about if condition syntax. So after this thing, we will see syntax of if else. So here if else syntax will be like this. So first we need to specify the if condition. After this, we need to specify the else condition. So whereas inside this, if you want to write any statement inside this block, again you need to write that thing also with the indent also. So here you can write only one statement, or you can write any number of statements. So here it is the syntax of if else. So here, if you observe this thing, this else block is an optional block. So here it is an optional block or complementary block. So whenever you want to use if else condition, we need not to specify the condition for this else block. It is a complementary block for this if condition. Whenever this if condition is fails, it obviously proceeds to this else block. So here I want to check whether the given number is even or odd. So I am extending this program little bit. So here I'm saying else. So if this condition is fails, I want to print output like, so here I want to print output like a comma. So here we need to print output like a comma is odd number. So I want to do this thing. So here I'm running this program. I'm entering number as 3. So after giving 3, so here it is giving output like 3. So here it is a complementary block for this if condition. Whenever this if block is fails, it will obviously execute the statements which are present in this else block. So after this thing, so we have one more block, that is if elif else. So here if elif else. So we need to see the syntax for this thing. For that purpose, here I'm keeping this thing in markdown option, and I want to keep this thing as an heading. So after this thing, we need to write the syntax for this thing. So syntax will be like, first we need to specify the if. So in this bracket, we need to specify the condition for this if. So after this condition, we need to specify the indent. After this thing, inside this place, inside this condition, if you want to write the any statements, you can write the statements belongs to this block. So here you can write any statement or statements. So after this thing, we need to specify the elif condition. So here for elif also, we need to specify the condition. So here it is a condition 2. So initially I'm saying this thing as a condition 1, and here I'm saying this thing as a condition 2. So here after this condition 2, whatever the statements you want to print, whenever this condition is satisfied, you can write those statements here. Statement or statements here. So after this thing, you can write any number of elif blocks. So after this thing, finally we need to write else block. So here finally we need to write the statements belongs to this else block. Whenever all these conditions are fails, it will return the output which is present in this else block. So whereas if you want to write the some statements for status purpose, you can write that thing also. So for the status purpose, if you want to write any statements, you can write any statement. So here's someone pinging in the chat, I think. I think you all are getting my voice now. So after this thing, so after this thing, so it is a syntax. After this thing, here I'm taking one simple example. So I want to take one user defined input. So here I'm taking one user defined input. So here how to take one user defined input? By using input function only. So here in this input function, here I want to enter a value. So after entering this a value, first I want to check this condition whether the given input is a or not. So if the given input is equals to character a, so if the given input is equals to character a, I want to print output like print apple. So after this thing, the next I want to give elif condition. So here I want to give the condition like if a given input, a is nothing but here given input. So if it is equals to the character b, so if it is equals to character b, here we need to print output like, so here we need to print output like ball. So after this thing, if the given input is equals to see whatever how many ellipses you want to keep, you can keep that many ellipses. So here if the given input is equals to character c, we need to print output like cricket. So here we need to print output like cricket. So if all these conditions are fails, if all these conditions are fails, we need to print output like, so we need to print that thing in else. So in this else, we need to show output like enter a valid character. So here I'm taking one simple example, that is, so enter a valid character. So I want to take one user defined input. After that, we need to check these conditions. So if the given input is character A, we need to print apple as an output. So if this condition is true, we need not to check remaining condition. If this condition is fails, then only we need to proceed to next elif condition. So whenever this condition is satisfied, we need not to proceed to next statement. So here we need to check the all these condition. Whenever the condition is satisfied, we need to terminate that thing. So here, if all these conditions are fails, we need to execute the statements which are present in this else block. So here I'm taking user defined string. For that purpose, I'm using input function directly. So after this thing, I'm executing this portion. So after executing this program, it is asking me to enter a value. So here I'm entering a value. So I entered a value as a. So whenever you enter a value, so this value, so here it is giving output like apple. So here the given character is character a. That's why it is giving this thing as an output. So after this thing, again I'm running this portion. So after running this program, here I'm giving input as B. So here I gave input as B. So for B, this condition is failed. If this condition is failed, then only it is checking this thing. And if it is true, it is returning output as ball. So whenever condition is satisfied, then it will give output. That is if else. So here, if all the conditions are true, false. Sorry, if all the conditions are false. So here I'm giving input as if. So here, whenever all the conditions are fail, it will return the statement which is present in the else block. So here it is the syntax of if else. So after this thing, if else. So after if else, we have if ladder. It's a special case thing. So here it is similar to if condition only. So first here, yeah, here I'm taking direct example. Here I want to take one user defined value. So here I'm saying a equals to int. I want to take one user defined value, that is an integer value. So here I'm taking this thing by using input function. So sorry guys, today also I'm taking just a 40-minute session. So Monday onwards I will take 1 hour sessions. So no problem. So in the next class we will discuss with this thing. So after finishing this thing, after finishing this if ladder, we will discuss